We have Warriors legend Terry Matthews here. Terry, welcome. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Lovely day
Pleasure
once
to be
again.
here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, lovely day, isn't it?
Lovely. When I got here early this morning to help them sort one or two things out, it started to rain, so I was a bit worried, but that went away, so it's got out very nice now.
Much like last year, which was another success, and a lot of the credit is down to your son Paul, isn't it, for organising this?
Paul and Lee Myers have organised it this year, and it was a big success last year, so that's why they've had this one this year. And so hopefully it'll get one or two, bob or two in for the boys, for the Warriors, and help them.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, I know the lads have said from a social point of view it's important, but also in terms of just keeping the club ticking over, it's important as well, isn't it, to generate a bit of cash?
That's right, because it's not just the players that are here. We've got one or two sponsors who sponsors the Warriors. They're here as well, friends and everything, so it keeps everybody involved. We're just waiting to see what happens for next season.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of anticipation. A lot of people are probably desperate to have some hockey action, but the talk is that we could have a very good team next season if we get the go-ahead.
Definitely. I mean, towards the end of last season, the team were playing really well, and we've got one or two new players coming in this season who I don't know the names of, but Paul keeps up to date. They're trying to get this lad, they're trying to get that lad, so augurs well for next season, provided we're going to have hockey next season. It depends on what happens.
Yeah, obviously uncharted waters really in the situation that we're in right now. Your career spans pretty much the whole of the history of the Whitley Warriors. Never has there been a time like this, has there?
Never. Being totally honest about it, I mean, the thing is, it's much more professional now than when I first started, and better and better for the sport. I mean, look at the British team at the moment, playing really well out there, And I was just thinking when I was watching them and thinking they were playing in the A pool, and I was fortunate enough to play in the A pool, and it was 60 years ago. 60 years ago, when we played in the A pool in Colorado Springs. And we beat Finland, with one big game, we beat Finland 7-5. We're all British players, mate, all British players. Memories, fond memories.
Yeah, you must have a lot stored away there.
Yes, one or two stored away. But it's nice to see the British team doing really well. And talking about people who are here, there are one or two lads who I used to play against in Scotland. They're here today as well to play golf, So we've got them from all over the place. Billingham, Scotland, down south, So it's good.
Yeah, that's another good thing, isn't it? This event has sort of attracted players from all corners of the country to come
That's
here.
right, yes. It's one or two lads from Edinburgh with Tony and his brother here, And I don't know what's happening with Murrayfield next year. I've never had a chance to talk to Tony to find out exactly what's happening there, because that'll be a big sorry state if Murrayfield closes.
It will. I know they've got issues with the rink at the minute in terms of having access, I think, because of the various problems going on with COVID. But yeah, I mean, the fact that the Warriors and the Racers work so well together.
Okay, definitely. I mean, Murrayfield has been one of the stalwarts of British ice hockey as long as I can remember, So that would be a big miss if they were to go out of the league.
Absolutely, especially having only sort of been relaunched for a year or two. Obviously, some great memories from the two teams when they played in that cup final. It brought back memories of sort of in the heyday when you were coaching as well in the late 80s, early 90s. You must have some fond recollections
memories
as well.
We've had big games against Murrayfield, and always had tough, hard games with Murrayfield, but always friendly games as well, But played them in end of the season cup final there. I think we were about 5 goals down when we went back to Murrayfield and we beat them up there, so great memories. It didn't always happen like that. I mean, Murrayfield was always a good side.
The 87-88 season when you were coaching the team and had Mike Babcock,
yes,
and Luke Chabot, and
he
Scott
wasn't
Morrison.
a bad player, Luke Babcock.
Yeah, and
Mike Babcock, I beg your pardon.
And obviously we just lost the title to Murrayfield that year. But
that's right.
Two very, very good teams of that era.
That's it. I think we only lost it by a point or two, which is great then. But the 3 imports that we had then were Scott Morrison, Luke Chabot and Mike. Excellent.
Probably the 3 best that you had to work with at that era?
always think that Scott Morrison was the best import that I ever had, you know, best allotment. I remember when he first arrived, and I went down to his hotel to see him for the first time to meet him, and there's this big, quite heavily built lad lying on the bed, and I thought, oh, not another one, you
Smoking
know.
a tab, was he?
And he came that night, and he was a revelation. He scored 6 goals, I think, the first night. Absolutely tremendous goal scorer. Worked hard all the time. Listened to what you say, which is not a lot of the kids wish to do that. But Scott, great competitor, great professional.
He also had a very good knack of scoring breakaways short-handed as well, which is massively important because,
definitely.
you know, in that era there was a lot of penalties and penalties to kill.
That's it. If you can score on breakaways, you know, and when you're short-handed, so it's a big dampener for the opposing team, you know.
Well, I'm mindful that you're about to tee off any second.
Any time now.
I'll let you go. But as always, Terry, absolute pleasure. And well, let's look forward to a
Pleasure
good day
to talk
of golf.
to you.
Thank
you very much. Thanks.